Have you ever wondered why going to school was much more fun in elementary school than it was in high school?
Yeah.
Recess.
Do you think it has anything to do with the arts slowly fading away from the curriculum? An education that once let us explore both sides of our brains suddenly became lecture from teachers who wanted to go home just as bad as you, and theory from books that we barely understood. Standardized testing became the center of our education because without it, no college will want you. And I know, I'm sure that most of us spend hours in front of SAT and ECT books with our hearts filled with despair. Or I know from personal experience, I spend more time crying over the books than actually using them. But fortunately, I had the opportunity to attend a high school specialized in arts from my junior year to my senior year, and it wasn't until I started receiving arts education that my academic achievements spiked. But as a graduate from an art school, I have been concerned with the decreased role of arts education in the educational system. And I know that we've experienced education with the hierarchy of subjects that have ruled throughout history because of the demands of imperialism, of industrialism. But the world has changed, and its demands are very different now from the demands of the past. So we should support arts education in order to better the education of the future generations. Today I'm going to talk to you about the rising problem of education cuts in arts education in the educational system in the United States, as well as talk about some of the benefits of arts education and provide some of the solutions that STEM students can take to help with problems. So, a bunch of schools over the past decade or so have been forced to make a lot of major budget cuts to the arts programs in schools because of the No Child Left Behind Act of 2001. The No Child Left Behind Act of 2001 was established by President Bush in 2001, and it supported education reform through the emphasis in reading, language, math, and science achievements as core academic subjects because they are areas related to economic success. This was said by the U.S. Department of Education in the public law branch of this act. Um, since 2007, almost 71% of schools have reduced instruction time in subjects such as history, arts, and music to provide more time and resources to mathematics and English, as Gordon Calvady stated. But the comparative test score gain for the U.S. was relatively moderate, amounting to only a 1.35% increase in average performance over the pre-No Child Left Behind scores. This was said by Thomas Dean, the impact of No Child Left Behind. So we can see that No Child Left Behind actually did help improve the mathematic results, but there are no clear indications that it helped the reading because the statistics were indistinguishable from zero. And this graph is from the National Center for Education Statistics. And many children in the United States do not receive arts education or instruction, and the arts learning experience is a huge challenge for the country. As Steve Seidel stated in his Harvard research, the quality of arts learning opportunities that are available to young people is the serious concern. And we can see that in this graph from the U.S. Department of Education, the No Child Left Behind Act impacted the availability of arts educations from 1999 to 2010. We can see the notable decrease in programs such as dance and drama, a little less in visual arts, and almost none in music. But the problem goes more at the core, related to equality that Steve was talking about. The schools in here that provide 5 or more courses aren't even half. So that means that they probably do provide the basis of an arts education, but they don't have the resources or the instructors to actually provide the whole program. This can be explained by the hierarchy of subjects that Ken Robinson talked about in his TED Talk in 2006. Mathematics and languages are at the top, leading humanities and arts at the bottom. But within arts, there is also a hierarchy. Visual and music are at the top, leaving the performing arts at the bottom. And Ken Robinson went on to say how this can be explained because we are educated into becoming a professor at a university and we're never encouraged to be an artist. Therefore, the resources for such fields are much more limited than for any academic subject. But however, contrary to like common belief, arts education actually benefits academic achievements. And we can see that the outcomes of arts involvement reflected in students' academic achievements by the National Endowment of the Arts. In this first chart, you can see the percent of young adults who attended college in 2000 was higher with the students who had an arts involvement against a lower one for students who were not involved in the arts. The same goes on in 2005 with the GPA of high school students. They had a higher GPA if they were involved in the arts versus the kids who were not involved in the arts. In 2007, they scored better in tests in science and writing because they were involved in the arts versus the ones who were not. And finally, by 2008, the young adults who had earned a bachelor's degree in the percentage was higher for the ones who had an involvement in the arts against the ones who did not. This shows that art is very essential in our lives, and we learn that since we were babies. Our parents sing to us, we learn how to dance, and we get entertained with like crayons and papers. So now that we've talked about the problem and the benefits, we are going to talk about the solutions because that's the important part. And we're a very lucky group of individuals because we receive a private liberal arts education, which means we can take advantage of all the resources that the university provides. As Steve and Guy stated, the arts have been ironically removed from public education at the same time that they are increasingly viewed as a newfound of career skills. The arts are now considered ways to come up with strategies, critically think, and laterally think, which are ways of thinking outside the box, what the world really wants now. So enrolling in a fine arts course at university not only can enhance your academic achievements in your determined field or major, it can also prepare you for the demands of the employment market, which seek right brain or art-directed thinking, the type of synthesizing and metaphorical thinking that learning in the arts cultivates, stated Sidney Spahn and the Education Policy Review. So actually everything at the end works out here in our benefit if you think about it. As Ken Robinson stated in his TED Talk, we don't grow into creativity, we grow out of it, or rather we get educated out of it. To that, he added that we should think about nurturing ourselves, of becoming artists once again, as we once were, because this gives us a sense of what's being lost. And the LA Times had a say on that. The deterioration has been particularly glaring in Los Angeles, the epicenter of the entertainment industry. What once made it a leader in arts education is slowly fading away. If you think about it, this issue isn't unreachable, like a worldwide thing that you can't do anything. It's as near and close to us as just LA. But fortunately, there are organizations like Arts for LA or Americans for the Arts, which are nonprofit organizations that work in hand with policymakers to ensure that art programs get installed in the educational system. And you can join, you can become a member by going into their websites. You can advocate, you can volunteer. They also offer internships and job opportunities, or you can donate from the comfort of your own home. This is what matters the most, knowing that there are solutions, because you have to remember that you have the power today to actually impact the education of future generations if you're willing to take action. Because one thing to keep in mind about this issue, as Albert Einstein stated, everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is too. Thank you.